Welcome back, everybody. All right. So I just did a live looping music mindfulness Sunday service. Those of you who have been following that know that I'm doing a regular Sunday morning music mindfulness service, and I wanted to give you patrons an overview of what I'm doing on the music side and how I'm looping things together and what instruments I'm using and how I'm putting them all together. I thought maybe you would like that. So I've got this in the looper right now. I've got an ukulele B chord, B minor, and I'll show you how I put that together. I've also got a descending hand pan scale of the Kosmosky tank drum. And then I've got two tracks of wind and rain, kind of stereo panned to the sides. I don't know how much like rain that sounds, but I've got those. So I want to show you how I put all that together. And it's really easy, you guys. I don't know how difficult you think some of this stuff is, but actually I want to show you it's way easier than you might think. And there's a few reasons for that. One of the reasons is that I'm using instruments with largely fixed tuning. So for example, let's look at the tank drum. This whole tank drum is basically just B minor scale. It's not a pentatonic scale, but it's essentially, it's got this, it's got this kind of B minor tonality. And so I don't need to know anything about music theory or anything like that. That just has that sound, right? So B minor. So what I did today is I picked a B minor Native American style flute, and you just heard me play it over this background, and it just goes together. So again, if I use the regular 5-hole fingering, and I add the reverb, because we all like some reverb. Yeah, we call that flute juice. That blends really well. And then I'm doing a little trickier thing with this F sharp flute, but I'll tell you about that in a second. I'm also playing the ukulele, and I'm playing one chord, and this is a B minor chord. Pretty easy chord. I'm just doing it's called a bar chord. I'm holding my finger across the 2nd fret, and then I'm putting my ring finger on the top string on the 4th fret. And that's easy. You could even use a capo. You could clip a capo right here, and then you could use one finger. One finger, you guys, to play the ukulele. And then I'm just playing like, basically I'm just finger picking. You could do strumming, super easy, just like that, really easy. And then putting that into the looper as well. And then for the wind and rain, you know, just a rain stick. And I like to turn the rain stick as I'm tipping it. You know, I tilt it a little. I don't do this. This is kind of crude, you know. People get the rain stick and they go. The two issues with that is that it's kind of it doesn't have a nice trickly sound. It's more of a downpour. And then it's shorter. So if you want to extend, and this is a short rain stick, but if you want to extend the range or the duration, you tip it a little and then you turn it like this. This is what I do. And I can also kind of get away with that with one hand. How about that? This is advanced rain stick technique. So this does both things. This turns it, and then I can pretty much, can I keep it going? I can almost keep it going constantly. But this is a good technique for a short a shorter range stick. So I got that, and then I have this, this wind whistle, and I've used these before, just a little clay whistle, and it sounds kind of like wind. I'm not trying to scare people. If you blow hard into these things, they can get a little crazy sounding. That's for the Halloween version. I also had some sleigh bells over here, which I used in the live looping. I'm not using those right now. So now that you know, you've heard all the instruments, listen again. Okay, so I'm going to show you two things. One is how did I do the looping on the tank drum? And again, super easy, you guys. I just went down the scale, right, left, right, left, right, left. All right, and then I did that. I'm going to replace this track right now. I'll show you how I did it. So here's the track. I'm going to go ahead and delete this. Delete it. I'm going to erase it. And then I'm going to show you again how I create it. And it's basically I play that down, and then the next time it comes around, I wait a little and I do the same pattern. So it's got a cascading effect. Here we go. Something like that. And that's pretty easy to do. Just, it's so simple, right? But I think it's pretty effective. The last thing I want to show you in this video is what I'm doing on the flute. And I know many of you are not familiar with the flute fingering, but here's the thing I'm doing just to shift it into a different key so it matches this one. Like I said earlier, this is a B minor flute. This is an F sharp flute. You can see they're different. This one's lower. But I can do a little trick, super simple, that, let me get rid of this, super simple, that makes this play the same scale as this. And it's a really, really simple thing. Let me show you over here. You see there's 6 holes here? Usually we're playing and we keep our third finger down. And we play like this. That's the normal fingering. But if I do this and I keep my index finger down instead and I play around that finger, can you hear the tank drum? It's sympathetically vibrating. If I do that, it's called mode 4. It's a different mode. So listen carefully. I'm going to play the notes. I'm going to play my B flat flute in the normal fingering. Now I'm going to play the F sharp flute in mode 4. Basically what happens is these three holes, these three fingers here, the top holes, the top three, equal the bottom three on this flute. And then these two holes down here end up being an octave lower than the top two holes up here. Anyway, you don't need to know all that, but really it's just so simple. There's little things, there's little tips and tricks that we do, and we get into the whole flute thing at Flute Harvest every October. That's a live workshop that I co-teach, co-present. We also use like the tank drums, and we bring loopers. I've got my RC505 right here. That's a looper I like to use most of the time. So you guys can do this. Soundscape, super easy. If you want to get into some recording, you could get a looper like this, and I'll do a longer video on how you might be able to record a whole piece of music into the looper. You don't have to actually loop in the looper. You can just use it as a 5-track recorder if you want, you know, just to record stuff and then play it back. You can record a whole song worth of track in there. Usually we're doing, you know, two bars, 4-bar phrases, but you can make the phrase, the loop, super long so that it's really not a loop. It's just one long track. You could do that, and that would be a fairly inexpensive way to get into some recording, because all you'd need is a mic at that point, just a mic and a cable and the looper and maybe some earbuds or headphones. Okay, that's it. Thanks for being a supporter of Patreon of Kalani Music through patreon.com/Kalani. I appreciate you guys, and if you have any questions or anything, just let me know. I'm happy to answer them. Keep on making music. I'll see you soon.